Imagine waking up one morning to find an entire village gone. No signs of struggle, no farewell, no footprints in the snow. Just empty homes, cold meals, and a silence that feels almost alive. This isn't a movie plot. This is a real mystery from the icy lands of northern Canada. A story that has haunted historians, police officers, and locals for nearly a century. This is the unsolved disappearance of the Angikuni village, and what you're about to hear may change how you see reality itself. Angikuni Lake, a remote, frozen expanse nestled deep in the Canadian tundra. Few dared venture this far, but for the Inuit community who called it home, this place offered peace, tradition, and a life tied closely to nature. They lived in modest homes, hunted caribou, and fished the icy waters. Stories passed from one elder to another around warm fires. Life here was isolated but steady, until the winter of 1930. On a bitterly cold day in November, a seasoned fur trapper named Joe Labelle made his way to the village. He had visited before, he knew the people well. But this time, something felt off. There was no sound, no laughter, no barking dogs. The smoke that usually drifted from chimneys was absent. As he stepped into the village, the silence grew deafening. Joe knocked on doors, no answer. He entered the homes, one by one. Meals were still on tables, untouched. Personal belongings were left behind. Guns, supplies, even warm clothes. Fires had burned out. But not recently, days ago, perhaps longer. The strangest part? Not a single sign of struggle or panic. No blood, no mess. Just absence. Terrified, Joe raced to the nearest telegraph station and contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Days later, officers arrived and began an official investigation. Their findings only deepened the mystery. Sled dogs were discovered, dead, starved and frozen, despite being well fed and vital to the villagers. Several graves in the cemetery had been dug up from the inside. Search parties scoured the forests and lake for weeks. But there were no footprints, no sled tracks, no broken ice. The entire community, men, women, children, had vanished as if into thin air. The Mounties were baffled. The story reached newspapers and became legends almost overnight. But there was still no answer.
What could have caused such a disappearance? Some believe the villagers left voluntarily. But why leave everything behind, including weapons and food? Others say an unknown disease forced them to flee. Then there are the darker theories: UFOs, supernatural forces, ancient curses buried beneath the snow. Some claim they saw strange lights over the lake in the days before the vanishing. But those were dismissed as myths. Or were they? Some believe the truth was covered up, that the RCMP knew more than they shared. Others claim explorers found clues years later, but those findings never made it to the public. And now, nearly 100 years later, the mystery remains. No bodies, no notes, no confessions. Just a quiet lake, and a name whispered through history: Angikuni. There are stories that make you question what you know about the world. And this is one of them. The truth about the Angikuni village may never be known, but the silence it left behind still echoes through time. If mysteries like this fascinate you, subscribe to Beyond the Unknown and join us as we uncover more real events that defy explanation.